Good evening, everyone. This is the regular monthly meeting of the Goffstown Sewer Commission. And we will begin with our roll call, and we'll start with Corey.
Corey White, sewer foreman.
Joe Cousins, sewer assistant foreman.
Lynn Pooler, sewer secretary.
David Pierce, Commissioner.
Tim Redmond, Commissioner.
Dan Taylor, Commissioner.
Michael Trank, Hoyle Tanner.
The only one missing tonight is our Selectmen's representative, Selectman Craig. So if he joins the meeting, we'll be happy to have him announce when he gets here. All right, the first item on our agenda, as usual, is public comment. Is anyone here for public comment? Seeing no one in the audience and no one stepping up, I'll move on to the next item, which is the approval of the minutes of August 9th.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of August 9th.
Thank you, sir. Been motion made to approve the minutes as presented for August 9th.
I will second that motion.
Been seconded. Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? The minutes are accepted as presented. We have new business. We have the tax deeds. Is that in our packet? Or?
No, I didn't. We only have two sewer properties. One is 51 Orchard Street, but they have made an agreement to pay it. And the other one is...
There's 9 parcels, excuse me, Lynn, there's 9 parcels on the list.
Only 2 of them are sewer.
Okay, 2 of them are sewer liens versus, and the others are property tax.
Property, yes.
And 3 of the 9 were sewer customers, so I guess one of those 3.
Oakwood has already paid it. They're all set. They're taken off. So the only other 2 there are 51 Orchard, who has made an agreement to pay it. And the other one is 51 Rochambeau, or however you say it.
You said it right, Rochambeau.
Rochambeau, okay. So we need to know, is there anything with that property, like any gas tanks or anything like that?
I visited, minus 1, there's 8 left on the list. I visited all 8. One of them is a vacant lot, so the other 7 are occupied homes. And of course, we know that because they have a sewer lien, or 2 of them have a sewer lien. But I don't see any other reasons.
No issues?
There's no issues that would be an unusual, environmentally sensitive, that would recommend to the select board that they should not proceed with tax deeding.
Were any of them adjacent to any of our sewer infrastructure properties?
None of them are adjacent.
Okay. That's the only real good reason now in case they want to take them for expansion. Okay. So what are we being asked to make any recommendations?
No, just if there's a reason why the town shouldn't take them.
Okay. All right. So we are in a no comment mode, is that?
So you
If
have,
the select board decides to tax deed them, that's up to them, but
we have no reason to tell
no
them not
reason
to.
to tell them not to.
Now, if they were tax deeded and we had sewer fees, we would get our fees from the town, correct?
Once, it takes a while, but
I
I
understand
believe
that,
once
but
they sell the
ultimately-
property or whatever, you would get your fees back, yes.
Ultimately, we would get reimbursed.
Eventually, yes. you would.
Well, I understand tax deeding for property taxes, because that's been done many times before. Have we actually ever tax deeded because of a sewer lien?
No, we do deed for sewer liens, yes,
Yeah.
but most of the time they pay them.
It's a lien, so eventually some,
But no, we do deed as well. If
Okay.
they don't, I mean, we would hate to do that. I don't, they owe $1,700. They can, make a payment plan or something. We try not to, but
Just be careful, don't say any names
no, I
on the
wouldn't,
record,
no, I
please.
wouldn't, no.
All right, so we'll just see what this Board of Selectmen does from there. The budget, Lynn, I'm gonna ask you to explain where we
Yeah.
are.
So first, I gave you guys, this is our assets, the sheet, the smaller sheet.
Okay,
So what we have in
this is in our checking account at
this,
this time?
this is, first you have I tell you what we have in our trustees account. We have $3,518,834.
Okay.
And this past month, we actually made, this is actually the first month we've done well, we made $6,739.48 interest
Okay.
on that. Okay, and this is in addition, these are in addition to this. The interest and penalties, this is what we've collected on our sewer bills, any late interest payments or any return check fees that we've charged them.
Mhm.
The interest on investments is the interest on our accessibility fees checks that we've received.
Mhm.
The miscellaneous revenue, that is, what did she say that was? Oh, that's, I'm not sure what that is, we don't have any though. I forgot what that one is.
But it was.
Oh, miscellaneous
Actual date
revenue.
is zero.
Miscellaneous revenue, we should have,
Shows
So zero the year.
zeros.
yeah.
For admin.
Yeah, for admin, okay. So this, go down to, and the budgetary use, that's just, is only used to balance the budget, it's not even real money, so don't even look at that line. Then go down to sewer operations. Your sewer use charges are what we get twice a year when the sewer bills. The accessibility revenue is the accessibility fees that we receive. And the miscellaneous revenue is the check that we get from Manchester O&M, when they balance and
If
they
we
have
over-
extra
if we've
money or
overpaid.
overpaid, right. So this year we got a check for $80,000, so that's what that is. Okay?
So the accessibility revenue shows us a negative on the remaining revenue, minus 77,668. Is that something that we need an explanation from finance on why it's a negative instead of a?
That's,
It's over what was predicted.
yeah, it's,
So it's
Was that a
actually,
return because we overpaid?
no, we only thought we were gonna get $30,000
but
and we got $107,000,
Oh, okay.
so that's a good thing, that's technically a
So-
positive.
The
so
negative is
more
good.
development.
Yeah,
than-
negative is good.
So we had more development than predicted.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank
and
you
the
for
sewer use charges is the other way because we haven't built the second half yet. So we predicted more than what we've collected so far,
Okay.
okay? And the same thing with the miscellaneous revenue, we never know if we're gonna get money back from Manchester, so we don't budget anything down there,
Okay.
okay?
If anybody has any further questions, Danielle could probably dig into it for you, either one of us, any of us.
Okay, so then the next sheet is what we looked at last year. I just made this up, put the August year-to-date numbers. So you have your original 2022 budget, then the revised budget is what we ended up with. And then what we've spent so far through August. And the next column is just what we spent in the month of August. And then any encumbrances. So I put down the 2021 year-end budget.
Where are we?
I'm just going across the top there.
The
showing you what the
encumbrances were
columns
money
are.
that was encumbered from the previous year,
Right.
and we haven't spent it yet, or.
Well, it's in our budget, but you have to subtract it from our budget because we included it in our budget. So like we had $9,000 budgeted for auditing, or whatever, let me see, we had
Tell us what line.
9,000,
Where are
the
you?
first top,
You in the account description?
yep.
And
And under the first top, the
Okay.
45010 auditing services.
Okay,
So we encumbered $6,710 there. That $9,000 that we budgeted includes the 6,010.
6,700.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
So the encumbered amount is, we increased our budget to include what we encumbered, because it's going to hit our actuals when we pay it.
And this is all stuff that finance put together for you and gave
I
you?
put this all together based on, I took last year's sheet that I made up, and then I took the numbers out of Munis. And the top part, the first top is sewer admin. And most of those, you see the ones that are purple on the 2023 budget line?
Mm-hmm.
Those are numbers that finance will give us. We don't have to budget those. It's mostly wages and auditing services, Medicare, all that. Same thing with down below, the
Yeah.
second middle one, which is operations. All the pink ones there will be supplied by finance. And then we just do the ones that are white. And I tried to leave some of the notes that we had in
I'm a
last
little-
year's budget. so
I don't
we
see
knew-
the colors you're talking about. Where's pink on my sheet?
Oh, yours are blue.
Is no, they're very faint.
Oh, pink, the
Very-
2023, under the
Yeah.
2023
Very
budget.
faint,
The,
I think.
the pink on her sheet
Oh,
is
it's over here,
more-
way over here.
Yeah, it's
Her
not as
pink is
pink on
more
yours.
legible. The-
All right, well, it didn't transfer onto the
Sorry.
copy. So we didn't, all right.
But you, and you can pretty much see what they supply. So I don't know if you guys want to just kind of look through this on your own, Corey too, and see, what you think. Or if we want to just get together again and have a workshop to,
We're gonna have to because this is a lot to try to figure out in a 1 hour meeting.
I mentioned it at the last meeting when we said, we set up a workshop.
I mean, just so that, if you were just to be very brief on this, if we go to the admin section,
Yep.
you go over to 2021 year end, we
Yeah.
ended our year with 166,237 balance.
That's what we spent last year. That's everything we spent last year.
Mhm.
And then you do everyone, and what did we budget that year? Where's
We,
the,
look at the revised budget, that second column over, that
okay,
224,306.
so the difference between those two is what our balance was that
What we did not spend,
spend.
yes.
So we do the same thing on the operations. We had 1,603, 1,603 as the budgeted, and we
Uh-huh.
only spent 796,000.
Right.
And then you go to the pump stations, we budgeted 745,000, we only spent 60,000. Budget's gonna throw a hammer at me.
Well, I think it's because that probably included Elm Street Pump Station.
Yes, and that's what it is, yes. You include the Elm Street pump station.
Have we been paying
didn't-
out on that? Have we
No,
been-
this was last year. Remember, we didn't do it last year, so our 2021 year-end budget was, we never spent that 600,000 for the pump station, because we didn't do it last year, we didn't do it till this year. So
Okay.
that's why we budgeted it again this year.
Okay, I just know when we go to budget committee meetings, they're always barking about us having a budget that's, quote, overinflated.
Yeah, no, we didn't, if you,
I remember because you and I went to the meeting.
yeah, but no, we ended the year in good shape, and we're good so far.
So
if
we
you
have
look
to,
at our
we have to
numbers.
devise our 23 budget to
Right.
hand over to the budget committee.
Correct.
So what we're gonna need is, the 22 actuals at some point.
They're here.
They're right there.
Year-to-date expended.
Okay,
And
And then what you would do to get to your year end is just, you would divide that by 8, multiply by 12, pretty much, to just come out with your,
or
or if you know
you
what's
could-
gonna
You could make
spend.
a justification that the revised budget is also accurate.
Yeah,
when do we make our Manchester O&M payments? At the end of the year or monthly?
monthly. But some of the stuff gets, and we also have, you'll see where, this usually kind of catches up later in the year, because a lot of the projects are built towards the end of the year. They're not, we don't get, we pay the O&M monthly, but all the projects usually come in later in the year.
We'll have to,
Our
Review that.
4.11%.
Yeah, yeah.
when do they bill that? At the end of the fiscal year?
It's something like November, December, yeah.
So we have some large bills coming in, they're gonna
Yes.
make these numbers balance
Yes,
better.
yes,
Okay. Well, that's important to know.
yeah.
So I guess we're gonna have to schedule a workshop. before the meeting's over tonight. So put that on your notepad to schedule a workshop, and we'll do that at the end of the meeting.
And, oh, what I need to do also with this is, when we did our budget, we weren't sure exactly what was going on with Joe's position. And when we did it, we went ahead and we budgeted it under admin. But technically, now that he's actually working and making money, he's technically operations. So what I was asked to do was have somebody make a motion to move, not his actuals, but the budget from admin,
So move his
To
payroll and
operation.
all his benefits all down to the
the
operations
budgeted
section.
payroll for him down to operations.
All right, we can do that. Because we did hire him under the admin title, as you remember.
Because all of his, when he gets paid, it automatically goes to operations. So we have it budgeted in admin, and his actuals are going to operations.
All right, because I was, all right, now I understand what you're doing. So we're just gonna make sure that Joe and Corey wages and benefits are all budgeted for the
Corey's, yeah,
operations
Corey's are
section.
already down there,
All
but
right.
Joe's is up above.
Okay.
Mine's up there too, but we need to move his. We'll leave mine there,
Yeah,
but his need to be moved. So if somebody can make a
Yep.
motion for that.
Ready?
go for it.
Okay.
I was gonna do it, but I'm glad you're doing it.
Yes. A motion to move the wage benefit categories for the assistant foreman from the admin portion of our budget to the operations portion.
To move the wage benefit budget.
Yeah, yes, the
Yeah, you-
lines associated with
So,
the assistant
It goes
foreman.
down, it ends at 43110
Yeah.
benefits. Everything above that is all,
No, I just want to be clear that it's budget and not actual. So to
Okay.
move wage benefit budget category from
To
admin
revise-
to
so,
operation.
Yes, the correct,
Okay.
we're to revise the budget to
Mm-hmm.
show that the wage benefits for the assistant foreman are moved into the
and
operations account.
that'll appear on a new spreadsheet for us after that is done, so we'll see it
Yep.
clearly before the workshop.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
ask Danielle how she wants to handle that, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I will,
Okay.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, the motion passes.
Thank you.
Okay, that takes care of that. So we'll talk about setting up a workshop at the end of the meeting. Okay, under old business, Dave has been working diligently on his online display, and I'm going to turn it over to Dave. Which section should we look at first, the clip section or the large one, Dave?
Let's, the long sheet
Okay,
in which the green box says existing.
okay.
This is all of the various pages that have SOAR activities on them. There's 4 basic locations. On the far left, you see one dealing with forms. Just to the right of that is, I call it the home page called SOAR Maintenance Division. Those 2 contain information about the SOAR activities, but they are found subordinate to that yellow box, which is the DPW homepage.
Mhm.
There's 2 green boxes in the upper right corner. They are under the umbrella of the admin department. They deal with listing the members of the commission, so the format for that particular page is similar to all the other boards and committees in the town. They have the same format of how committees are listed and what information is listed about a committee or a commission or board. And also, this green box further down there is the SOAR office, and that's because Lynn resides in the town hall, and she's simply called the SOAR office in that capacity at the town hall. But all the red lines on this chart indicate how the links go from one page to the other. The prime, what we discussed in the last meeting was most of the information with the green boxes near the bottom margin. That's the most of the information dealing with the SOAR activities, and it's all subordinate to Public Works. So our goal is to, could that be, could we sever that relationship and be a department, a SOAR department on the town books? The second sheet, which is SOAR system web pages proposed, you can see that all the arrows that lead out of that brown box in the upper left, they now bypass DPW and they go down to a home page for the SOAR department. And then from that page you go into the forms, you go into various brochures and the ordinances. You can also, I've added a system map. But it does link back to that yellow box concerning DPW, because in the textual information about our SOAR department, I mentioned that we're not a combined SOAR, a combined, what's the technical word? Combined SOAR system? Combined?
Oh, combined sources for drain and,
Yes.
yeah, combined.
Stormwater and sewer?
And that the stormwater system in our town is the responsibility of DPW.
Okay,
So
I see what you're getting at.
Once I mention DPW, then that word DPW links back to that yellow box. The links coming out of the admin umbrella are still the same for those two pages. And you can see near the middle of the page, four little white boxes. Those are brand new pages in which each one explains the 4 fees that we charge. So that's the scheme of how the various pages link to each other. The packet of 8.5 by 11 that you have is essentially information that I could hand this packet over to IT and they could make all of the appropriate changes in on the website.
If you think that your work has satisfied the court that our fees are readily available and we would not ever be tagged with non-payment because we weren't upfront and showing our fees to a potential customer. Because that sort of was an impetus.
The 4 pages that I have drafted, they're the last 4 pages in this packet. I believe they cover those 4 pages cover all of the reasons why the fee exists, how the fees are determined, who to pay them to. So yes, I think that would be covering the entire waterfront on that situation of fees.
I think one of the things I interpreted from the discussion was that they have to be like right as soon as you click onto the website. They have to be right there in your face so that
Okay?
they're easily discovered and found. Now, is that the way
Yeah.
this is?
So, Tim, let's go through the individual pages on this 8.5 by 10 packet right here. And the first page is the home page for the entire town,
Okay.
in which you will see there's now entries for public, adding a link for SOAR.
Okay,
And there's 3 different ways you could select SOAR.
okay.
And they ultimately would go down to our new homepage. The next one is the existing homepage for DPW. I would eliminate a link dealing with SOAR maintenance, and I would improve a paragraph that describes our operations. The next page is one dealing with forms, and that would simply eliminate the reference of our forms from a list of public work forms. So that's a simple IT change. The next page was the old page for SOAR division. It's entirely deleted. And the heart is now the next page that you're looking at, Tim. It's the home page for the SOAR department. The format that you see for this page is the same for all the departments in the town. And you'll notice that all the departments have a logo in the upper left corner.
This is our new logo?
The park and rec has a soccer ball design.
It's very appropriate.
The library has a design of an attic window that's on their building. Public Works uses some sort of an equipment design. I think everybody understands what a nest trap is in a house and where the water goes.
Okay. It's all thought out.
So that left margin is a static margin on our town websites, and it essentially is a list of the various links that would be further information is provided. To answer your question, Tim,
I see them.
yeah, on the textual portion of our page at the very bottom is links to the various 4 fees.
Now that is how many pages in, Dave? 1?
It's once you click onto a department, it's right there.
So this would come up first still?
That is the home page for the whole town.
Okay, so that would come up first.
Yes.
Then this page is
Gone,
gone,
or at least the link is gone to it.
but you're replacing that paragraph with this paragraph.
Yes.
So that's 2.
No. You're gonna go, where's the other long page? Right here. You're gonna go from the home page directly, once you pick a department, in this case, you
I
pick
understand.
SOAR
Okay,
department,
then
you're
it
gonna
goes
go directly
to
down here.
this. Okay, good,
So
thank you.
that is one link, one click away from the town's homepage.
Good, because I don't really get all this.
Once
Learning.
you're at a homepage for the SOAR department,
Everything is
there it is, the fees, the forms,
Perfect,
the various brochure references.
I see.
All the typing below that is instructions to the IT staff on
Okay.
how to form the links.
Okay.
Now, does it matter that businesses are different? You know, like the accessibility fee is different, the sewer use fees are different? Do we note that anywhere, or do we need to?
Well, like on the homepage, I say SOAR accessibility fee is $5,000 per treatment unit.
Right.
But you click on the words SOAR accessibility fee, then you go to that page that has a whole page describing how the fees, how the treatment units are calculated.
Oh, so it works for businesses as well, like a restaurant or something like
It
that?
works for every situation that we bill.
Good job, okay.
And that's per treatment unit.
Mhm.
So, do some homes, Corey, have more than one treatment unit?
Yeah, if they have accessory dwellings, they do.
Okay, but if it's just a regular 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom home, it's still considered one treatment unit.
So, you know, we don't have to decide this tonight, but the work for you till the next meeting is to look at the individual page that explains SOAR accessibility fee
Mhm.
and see if it has enough information that it would be understandable by a SOAR customer. And
No, and these are the pages you
yeah,
provided us
the
with
last
in the
four,
back.
last 4 pages. So, I mean, I'm asking you to do a little homework over till the next session of our board,
Okay.
and we can make a decision if this is how we'd like to implement it at our next meeting. But this
Anybody
is-
have any questions for Dave?
This is an end-to-end diagram of how it presently works and how it could work with providing much more useful information to our customers.
I noticed-
And to the engineers that want to find information.
I noticed you solved at least one of the broken links that you showed on your first page, which was the broken link from the email to the sewer division.
Simply by, yes, it would be, the link is up here, it would be repaired.
Because there was two broken links. I noticed one there and one there, and
Yes.
you've taken care of both of them.
No, I've taken care of this one.
Okay.
The one on the far right broken link that says maintaining a town sewer system, I have no idea what that document is.
Okay.
I
Is that still in there, or did that get deleted?
I'm going to visit IT department tomorrow and ask if that's a document that they could retrieve. But it might reside in the computer system, it's just, there's no link to it.
Okay. Okay, I just wanted to understand your broken links part.
I have no idea what the content of that page would be.
Okay.
Our sewer ordinance has specific fees for some old developments. Like it specifically
They-
lines out numbers for certain areas of town.
Yes, those were grandfather type projects.
What if someone were to build in that particular area?
I don't know. Corey?
That would be considered a new home, not grandfathered. Because it would have been the existing houses that were built, that would have
Yeah,
been
and
grandfathered on
those
the
were-
property.
Those were fees that were established with the houses that were built at that time. And
Yeah, it would have been an agreement with the sewer commission at that time for those, that specific subdivision.
The only thing that would ever be grandfathered would be an existing structure or an existing connection.
So what I've given you is a flow chart of the existing system, a flow chart of the proposed system, and the smaller pages are an image of all the pages in the new system.
Okay. Any other questions from
Was those-
staff?
So there's, what's some other questions I could ask the commission? Oh, like, do we want to use the word foreman rather than sewer maintenance technician or sewer supervised?
So, should we try to stay as consistent with our ordinance as possible? Because I think you're referred to as superintendent in our ordinance.
That's a good, I'm not sure. That's a big question that I have, because my job description does not describe my job whatsoever, so I really don't know what to say with that. Technically, I'm the highway utility supervisor on paper.
Well, what we call our sewer foreman on human resource records doesn't necessarily have to be portrayed. This is a public website. We need to use words that are readily identifiable to the public reader. So a sewer department supervisor is readily identified. Oh, that's the person I called. I have a back, my sewer line is backed up. Some people may argue sewer department foreman is discriminatory because we might hire a female.
Or
Oh,
woman.
gosh.
Four-person?
So that's why I said, I offer that, could you use the word technician or supervisor?
Supervisor is a good word. All right, so these are the kind of questions you're
Yes.
looking for answers for in our upcoming discussion?
Now, I have tentatively cleared the way with Public Works and the town administrator that the use of the word department is, they have no immediate concern with that.
Or objection?
objection. I haven't asked the town administrator if that decision would be upheld by the select board. You know, could the select board find it objectionable? So if you don't mind, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to get a determination at that level too.
I think as much information as you can provide us
Okay.
at our next session, that would be
But-
helpful
so-
to keep us moving forward,
so-
it would be a big help.
At this point, this is a packet that is fully complete with flow charts. I could provide this to the town administrator, and he could introduce this to the select board
As an agenda
as
item.
an agenda item, and I could discuss it with the select board.
You have my,
I don't want to get 99% done and we're ready to implement and then have the select board find out, what are you guys doing?
absolutely, I agree completely.
I don't know anything about a new department in this town.
Okay. Well, I think clarification on that would be a big help. Dan?
Yep.
Thank you, David. Okay, we also have Elm Street Pump Station improvements, and we have from Mike on that.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. If it's okay, I'd like to actually start with Lewis Street
So
sewer.
we'll start with
replacement.
Louis. I saw you have a document for us in here.
Yep, a couple of them.
Which one first, the change order or the substantial completion?
Well, just for background, the Lewis Street sewer replacement project is complete. Well, I say complete. It's in substantial completion, so the difference would be the one-year warranty period. We have established August 12th, 2022 as the date of substantial completion. So the one-year warranty period will expire August 12th, 2023. So during that one-year warranty period, you'll continue to hang on to the 2% retainage for the contract. And then if any items come up that are construction related, then the contractor would be notified to address those. So one of the documents that you have for signature is the certificate of substantial completion. That does include a punch list which gets attached. I don't think you've seen, I know you haven't seen that document before because today was the first time I sent it. There's only 5 items on the list. And they're mostly administrative type stuff. So that will get
Signed
attached.
lien waivers from your subcontractors, that is in regard to them being paid and
Yeah.
there's no mechanics lien against the
Right.
projects?
Mhm. Exactly.
Okay.
And then in the course of the next couple months, you provide documentation that the punch list has been satisfied.
Right.
That's part of your.
Yeah, Corey and I would
That's
coordinate.
part of your, what we've hired you to do.
Sure. Yeah.
So do you need signatures from us this evening, Mike?
Yes.
And do you have a document that you can present to us to sign for you?
Yes.
So do any of the commissioners have any questions from Mike related to this document before we agree to begin signing it?
Sewer foreman,
Yeah, I've
you
seen it all.
concur
Yep,
with the status of the punch list? And
absolutely.
Okay, Mike?
There's 2 originals here. This is the signature page of the certificate of substantial completion. So the signature for the sewer commission is at the very bottom line.
For you, Tim. So,
Thank you,
Mr.
Ben.
Chair, is there a motion?
Please, Dave.
Motion for the commission chairman to sign certificate of substantial completion for the Lewis Street sewer replacement project with the completion date of 12 August 22.
Second the motion.
Motion's been made to permit the chairman to sign the certificate of substantial completion. Been seconded. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, passes unanimous.
Thank you. So staying with Lewis Street sewer replacement, the other item is change order number 2. Change order number 2 adds the box out work. So the subbase, if you will, was removed from the road and 12 inches of structural gravel material was put in instead. So to facilitate that, we've put together change order number 2.
And change order number 1, that was the drainage portion for the town side?
Correct.
So we need to, now, go ahead.
With this, we had approved 2 months ago up to 50,000. It turns out it was 57,600.
600.
Correct.
So we need a motion to add the additional 7,600 to the,
I'll make a motion.
Well,
go ahead, Corey.
Public Works is still on the hook for some of that.
Right.
I think that was gonna be,
Well, we're gonna pay that, and then we're gonna get reimbursed from Public Works. Because I don't think we're gonna end up giving Bernice 2 checks, one from town, one from us. So once we finalize this project and the total amounts established, then we'll look to you and Mike to establish our share versus the town share per our prior agreement.
That's fine, I just wanted to bring it up.
Just for informational purposes, on page 6 of the change order 2, it's a description, or it's actually the reason for the change, but I did put some verbiage in there that about the sewer commission will be splitting the cost 50-50 with Public Works.
Okay.
I thought you might want to have that in there.
And the amount you list is the commission's portion of the 50/50.
It's the total.
No, it's the total.
Total.
Do we?
Since your contract is directly with the contractor, I put the total in.
Now, did we see any credits on our contract for things like, we had amounts in there for patch paving that didn't get done? Was that all adjudicated between you folks?
Yeah, actually, I think what probably needs to happen is a final balancing change order should be done.
And that's something you're gonna put together?
Sure.
Because I know that we agreed to a lot of things to be paid as pay items,
Right,
but then some of those things didn't happen.
right,
So you're gonna
correct,
find those deductions
right.
and see, and how do we do that? Do we get a deduction from our bill we're gonna pay, or do they pay us in return?
How
does it work?
It's an adjustment to the contract price.
Prior to paying the final 57,600?
No, prior to paying the 2% retainage that's held for a 1-year warranty period.
Oh, that gets deducted from the 2% as an adjustment. We're withholding 2% of the total cost as.
We're
for
withholding
retainage.
$18,143.
And do you think $18,000 is more or less than what our credits are gonna be?
We'll have to see how that works out.
Well, we
So
need to
whatever,
know-
yeah.
We need to know before we
obviously.
pay them.
Right.
Well, I actually have the bill to sign tonight to pay.
Well, the problem is that if no one's tallied the credits, how do I know if the credits exceed or are less than the $18,000 retainage? That has to be known before we pay the final bill. So, we can sign to pay the bill contingent upon the credits being applied. Which I would have thought that, would have come up in the discussion with Grenice prior to them giving us a final bill. I certainly didn't.
Well, it's not a final bill.
Where are we?
You don't have a final bill for.
We don't have a final bill.
No.
Because I'm looking at this 57,000, I'm thinking this is the last check we're gonna be giving them.
No.
How much do we owe them at this point, ballpark? Is it in the 100,000
The only thing you would owe them is the retainage after today.
Now I'm confused again. The total cost of this project was 1,056,220.40, right?
Yeah,
Including both change orders.
correct.
How much have they been paid to this date? How many checks have we given?
900
7,180.
907, 180.
So Dave, you doing the math on that in your head?
I wasn't listening.
907, 180, we still owe them over $100,000.
Well, and that's what this is for here. Look at this. This is what I was gonna have you sign. Oh, wait, I need that, but.
I'm not signing that until I know that there is a
But
credit.
that's showing you the numbers right there,
Yeah.
what,
Okay, so we have a $113,000 balance with them at this time. And does that include the,
other than the retainage. that
other
we're
than the
holding.
retainage? So we're gonna need to,
So what, let me backtrack. Change order 2 adds the 57.6, so that would bring the new contract price to $1,056,220.40. What they've bid plus change order 1 is $998,620.40. What's been paid out of that so far is $907,180.
what was the first number? What was the amount that was billed?
It wasn't billed, it was project bid.
Project bid?
So
was
you've
what?
got the original bid pricing.
What's the big number in round numbers? 909, what'd you say it was?
The original bid plus change order 1 is $998,620.
998, call it 1 million in round numbers. Okay. And we've paid,
$907,180.
so we still have a $100,000 balance on the original amount plus change order 1, plus we have change order 2 that's not
No,
paid.
because you're gonna get most of that back as a credit against the original contract, the bid price. So the unspent items you're gonna get back as a credit.
I need to see them in numbers. All this
Yeah.
talking doesn't do me any good.
Okay,
I want to see the numbers.
I can
I
provide
want to see
that.
what we've built, what we've been billed, and what we've paid, and what's balance due,
Mhm.
and what are the credits.
Yeah, because this display doesn't show the cost of change order 2.
Yeah, you're looking at the pay requisition, right?
That's what they want me to pay right now.
Yeah. It didn't include change order, I didn't include change order 2 because I had them remove it because you hadn't actually executed change order 2 yet at this point.
So
Well-
above, and if we pay that right there, we're still gonna have $56,000
Due
due,
for change order 2.
other than the retainage, right?
Yeah, if you pay requisition 3,
Oh.
it doesn't include the 57.6, so that's
Alright,
still
so
gonna be,
we'll have
that's still gonna be owed.
$50,000 of room
Wiggle room if there are
to,
credits.
to see
Yeah.
credits applied against.
Correct,
So he can sign that and I
Here,
can pay
this is
it.
the original bid breakdown
yeah.
for the original contract.
I get you.
So
Various
of the
But there's a
things,
lot-
we
there are-
might be credited for
Yeah.
something.
Hey,
We'll
but
get
there's
billed
items
that
on
later.
this.
Right, that might not have happened.
the withholding is still
I mean,
smaller
right there,
than what we have.
right there, you have
Right.
hot bituminous base course 3/4 inch aggregate for $44,000, when Continental paid it, they didn't put any base aggregate down. There's $44,000 credit right there.
Other than they actually based all the driveways. They did all the driveways.
Okay. Well, I don't think it was 44,000, I'm sure.
Yeah, I guess, I don't know if it helps explain it any better, but the total amount requisitioned to date, and this is with requisition number 3, is 907,180. That's your final price, except that it doesn't include the change order 3. So
Change order
the
2,
fi-
you mean?
the fi- change order 2, right? So it doesn't include the 57.6. So you're actually underrunning your contract price, if you will, by almost $100,000.
Mike, if you can show me that in math and not in English, I'd be happy to sign
Okay.
it. Because just,
Sure.
because there's 2 lines here. A11 is hot bituminous paving on the first section, which is 44,000. You got the other one for for Schedule B is another 52,000. There's $100,000 in paving there that they didn't do, that was in their bid. Is that correct? I'm looking at it right here, if you want me to pass it over.
You're looking at the payment requisition?
No, I'm looking at the Louis Street breakdown sheet for the total bid, including all the items. There's $100,000 in paving alone in that bid that they did not do because we paid Continental to do it. Or will pay Continental to do it.
Continental being paid through the contract, though.
Isn't DPW paying Continental?
Portion. I thought it was.
I know, we were supposed to share paving
Yeah.
binder, and DPW is gonna pay for top.
They're paying for the top, yeah. We're
But it
sharing
was
the
not a
bottom.
Grenice pay item, the paving. It was deducted from Grenice's total amount, because they're not paying for the paving. Grenice is not paying Continental for that.
They're paying for the base course.
Yeah, Grenice is paying for the base.
Yes.
But.
And the driveways, and there's 2
They're
items for that.
paying Continental directly at the discounted price for the CIP price that the town gets.
The 44, well, whatever
Whatever it is per ton.
and we don't know what, we don't know if that matches their number for 44,000 in,
I,
we need some more clarification before we're paying any more bills. I can tell you that much. Because all this stuff gets lost in everything, and then suddenly, they owe us money and you can't ask them to give us a check back. All this accounting needs to be done prior to these payments being
Right.
finalized.
Right, but you're still gonna owe them the 57.6.
We're gonna owe them a lot of money, but I wanna know where the credits are before we,
He doesn't want to pay this.
I don't wanna pay the
rep that I have here for
113,000.
113.
I think that we could find the credits in a good day if their accountant put their feet to the fire, and we got you to look at their numbers. We could authorize payment subject to the credits being established.
Right.
I'd be happy to do that.
Okay.
I'm happy to do that. I don't wanna not pay them. I wanna know what we're paying them for and what they didn't do that's in their original bid. Now, if they're paying Continental for the base coat, I don't know what the price is for the base coat out there. We don't have that information.
did they send you all the slips, Mike?
We
We had talked
actually,
about it, they said you were gonna request a copy of all the slips.
The tonnage
Yeah.
slips, based on the town's price. Yeah, that's easy to calculate. And if they if Grenice bindered all the driveways in, they must have some data on that as well.
yes. Yeah,
I mean, it's easy to reconcile if we ask for it.
right. Yep.
I
I'll
mean,
give you
tell
the
Steve
numbers.
we're not just trying to stiff him, we just wanna
Yeah.
know where we stand.
Yeah. No, I'll get you the numbers.
Okay. And we can vote to sign that requisition tonight, subject to all these things being presented to
Sure.
us for,
Yep.
with your recommendation. We don't even have to see them,
Yeah.
in my book. If you and Corey look at them and you recommend, yes, we are going to be okay, we're not gonna be caught short with only a $57,000 balance or whatever is left, plus the retainage, That's fine with me.
Okay.
So do you want to sign this now and I'll just hold on to it?
We can do that.
So we're gonna
But we'll
need,
make a motion that dispersing that money is subject to the,
Motion,
accounting.
the chairman will authorize to sign a check for $113,940.20 as payment for requisition number 3, subject to our consultant verifying that all the credits have been properly accounted for.
And relaying that to Corey, please.
In coordination with Corey.
Okay. Motion's been made to pay the requisition,
Second,
Number 3.
number 3,
second
with
motion.
conditions.
Yes. with
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions? I have to sign that, I think.
and we need another motion for the, that Dan was going to make for the change order.
Change order 2.
Should we modify the previous amount or?
I think that'd be, modify the prior motion to include the difference.
Motion to approve change order, what change order was this? 2, for the Louis Street sewer replacement project
In the amount of.
in the amount of,
You're adding 7.
add in, okay, motion to, approve the change order 2 for Louis Street replacement project, to change order, yes, sorry.
To a total of, if you want.
Yes, that's what I was trying to get at. Okay. Motion to modify the previous approval for change order 2 on the Louis Street replacement project from $50,000 to a total of $57,600.
Perfect.
Yes, second.
Okay, motion made and seconded to modify change order number 2 to include the additional 7,600 for a total of 57,600. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, motion passes. All right, that takes care of Louis Street, Mike?
Other than actually signing the change order.
Okay.
I have a question. So the change order is only for an additional 7,600? I thought it was for an
No, the
additional
change order is-
57,600.
No, we
2 months
approved
ago,
up
we
to
have-
50,000.
Right.
Several months ago.
Right, we did,
Right.
so this isn't an additional 57 on top of that
No.
50, this is just an additional 7 on
It's
top of the
motion-
50?
the-
Okay,
The
just wanted to
effective
make sure
word
that
was
was right.
modify the previous $50,000 motion to now read
Right.
57.
We approved,
Okay.
we under-approved the amount, so the
Okay.
motion was to include the additional funds.
Yeah.
We had estimated 10,000 a day in 5 days, it turned out to be 6 days or something.
Okay, thank you, now I got it.
Okay?
Okay.
Okay, so now is Louis Street concluded? For now, till something else comes up.
Yeah, I think we're good on Louis Street.
Okay. So the other half of your presentation?
Elm Street, pump station. All of the footings have been constructed, the footing, the foundation walls have been constructed, the floor slab is constructed, and most of the CMU block walls are constructed. They haven't finished the CMU, they have to come back to do some work.
What kind of roof goes on it, Mike? A concrete slab?
It's precast roof planks.
Okay.
And then there's insulation and a EPDM membrane that
Okay.
goes over that.
Good.
We've reviewed most of the equipment submittals, and it's approved most of those. Some have comments. Most of the larger equipment items have been ordered. Some of those have a very long lead time. So once the building is constructed, it's just going to be some waiting time.
Okay. But the pump station is operational in the meantime?
Yeah, yeah.
So The contractor is warehousing all these parts as they arrive, and then
Yeah, nothing's arrived yet, but
yeah,
yes.
when they do arrive,
Yeah.
he's warehousing them
Yes.
until everything is complete, and then he'll proceed with the installation for it.
Yeah, I assume that'll be his approach.
The, I'm sorry, Amy, I have a question.
The force main
Yeah.
lining, slip lining is complete. That was completed
Is
last
there any
week.
difficulty with that, or did it go as?
No,
No.
no, once
They
they
were
had the
in and out of
excavation.
Mill
work,
Street very promptly.
Yeah, once they had the excavations opened up and the pipe opened up, it.
And they had no difficulty
maybe-
locating the
Maybe
bends?
took them an hour to pull the pipe through.
They had no difficulty locating the bends in
No.
the field? Good.
No.
Did our crew, did you observe any of that?
Oh yeah, it was awesome.
Okay.
The only, the hardest part was actually finding the one bend in the balls yard,
Okay.
because Donnie had thought that he remembered digging it up when he put in that block wall, but it ended up being by the front stairs.
Are you kidding me? Wow.
So that was, they found the force main and had to chase it back to find the
So
bend.
what, did they use a sock and then inflate the sock with steam or something? How did they line that?
No, they actually pulled a cable, a small cable through, hooked that to a larger cable, and then that was connected to the actual lining pipe.
Was it a hard plastic liner, is that what they installed? Okay.
It's, yeah, it's high density polyethylene pipe,
Right.
and it's all fusion welded, so they actually welded that on site and left it just sitting on the ground until they were ready to install it.
They welded it along the shoulders of Bill Street.
And then how did they fuse the 90s, the bends together?
Mhm.
So they never reinstalled the metal section on the bends? They just left the metal section off on the bends?
They just cut the bends out and remade the bends out of the PVC.
Yeah.
Right.
And it welds it in no time, not like water line, it welds it in a minute,
Yeah, it's quick.
yeah.
And I see they planked themselves across the brook. I went down and looked, they used steel plates and they walked across the brook. And the line that runs under the brook,
Was fine, they cambered it
okay, so where did the
They-
slip lining end, Corey?
right at the building,
At the building?
Yeah.
So the portion under the brook is also
is
slip
lined,
lined?
yep.
Okay, thank you.
So you have a new force main.
Good, that's done, and I noticed it's all been loamed and seeded, it looks good. I will check with the residents this weekend to make sure they were satisfied with everything, unless you've already done that.
Nope, I have not talked to.
I will stop in and see them, because I initially contacted both of them about this, and I'll see if they have any complaints or questions or anything.
Thank you. I'm busy. I won't do that.
Well, Dave, you do enough, believe me,
We,
and I know what you're saying.
I'm
I know what you're saying. I was trying to go around that.
you do have a payment application, number 1, from Charbon Consolidated
Okay,
for the Elm Street project in the amount of $177,007.
I need you to sign that.
does that include the slip lining, or is that in addition to the slip lining? Because that was its own number, as I remember.
That was a separate number.
Over and above the contract amount we're talking about right here? Contract amount was $456,690?
Yeah, that was the original. Change order 1 was executed already for this project, and that was for the slip lining. The change order was $109,470.
I see it on there, sum of change orders.
Yeah, so your total contract price now is $196. I'm sorry,
No, 560.
$566.
Right. I knew
It's
that was coming.
$161. Yeah.
So what are they asking for, a disbursement of how much? 109?
The work completed is $196,674, but you have to take retainage out of that. So what they're actually asking for is $177,07.
Okay. Okay. I will ask for commissioners to look at this, if anyone wants to review the numbers. And then a motion, if it's appropriate.
So there's 10% retainage that gets withheld and kept in escrow.
payment amount is 177,007?
Correct.
Less, how much to retain?
10%.
10%.
Yeah, so the retainage is 19,667.
Is it showing the retainage on the,
It is,
right there is okay?
yes.
I'm gonna
Oh,
show-
I
It's
see.
the fifth line down.
I'd like to show that to Daniel before we make a motion there.
Oh, so the completed job is 196,000, right?
No, 566.
That's work completed to date,
They,
yeah.
566 is the new.
minus the retainage,
Right,
brings it down to 177,007.
correct.
Okay, so, the-
Get it over there.
okay, motion to,
I'd like to let Daniel look at it before you make a
okay,
motion.
okay. Yep, I'm sorry, Daniel, go to it. Sherman. Whoever reads it last makes the motion.
Pretty cut and dry.
So we're just authorizing your signature?
Yeah, for the amount of, to Sherban, the name of the company. That gives us name, the motion includes the name of the company, the amount of the disbursement.
177. Motion to authorize the chairman to sign the payment application in the amount, or to the company Sherban Consolidated Incorporated in the amount of $177,007.
Motion been made to approve the payment.
Sounds good? A second?
For the Elm Street wastewater pump station project.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. Are we going to be going to the trustees of the trust fund for any of this money, or is this all budget, everything budgeted?
We'll have to see how it all works out. We'll,
Okay.
if we have to, I'll let you know. We can play between all the different accounts and see where we stand.
Okay, just as long as, if we do need to go to the trustees, we will need to make those transfers so we can pay the bills. And that's a simple phone call from what I was
Yeah.
describing.
No, we're continuing on that.
Do you have any questions?
We're waiting for them to get equipment. They're gonna finish the building and winterize it,
Mhm.
and we're waiting for them to install equipment in the building.
Correct.
Are they gonna complete the site work on the outside and get it all stabilized before the winter?
They'll stabilize it, yeah.
How about the driveway, where we dug up the driveway, who's paving that? Us?
Yeah, that's part of the contract,
They're gonna fix that,
yeah.
because they have to plow that in the wintertime.
If there's paving down the hillside and partially around the building.
Right.
Will that binder be done prior to the snow flies? It has to be done
Yeah.
before it snows.
Okay.
There's no.
Yeah, I'm meeting the contractor, well, Corey and I are meeting the contractor Thursday morning to talk about the building envelope.
You can impress upon the fact that they have to get that
So
paving done.
we can talk about the driveway.
Did they do the CMU repairs for where the plow hit the building?
They did?
It is done. Are they billing us extra for that?
No, that was part of the original contract.
Because I knew there was some discussion about whether that
We
was an extra.
actually included an allowance item in the original contract for all of the structural repairs in the
Okay.
existing building.
Okay. Has the generator been put back yet? I saw it sitting off to the side.
They have the temporary generator hooked up.
Okay, so your generator is functional.
Yeah, they moved it out of the way until they could regrade everything. Then they
Yeah.
brought in a portable generator,
Right.
and that's all online, so if anything, if the power goes out, the temporary generator will start up. Because there's no propane tank there now to run our generator. so they have to have something that runs off diesel.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's entirely their responsibility.
Any other questions?
Are you notified if that emergency generator kicks in?
I'm notified if the power goes out, so I'll know if the generator kicks on because it sets off the alarm automatically if it loses power at all. Even if it flickers, it notifies the alarm company.
So those alarms are still functional?
Yeah, too functional.
Any other questions or discussion on the Elm Street pump station improvements? Seeing none, okay. Authorization, you have a warrant you need signed tonight?
I don't have a warrant, because I was waiting for those to get signed, but I do have, I need you just to approve, I'll show this to you after, just the gas. And this I need, it's a new service application for Elm Street substation for Goffstown Village Precinct. It's already been done, I just need the official signature from you that
Water line,
new water service.
And that's for payment for that.
It's just an agreement type thing, we're not even paying anything, it's just,
Because John Brown put that service in for us a long time ago, didn't he?
no. This is Elm Street never had water.
Oh.
They ran a new water service.
Didn't Alan Brown dig that for the town, dig that for us? Through Lee or somebody?
Not for Elm
No.
Street, no.
It was one of the first tasks I saw them do, was install the water line.
Yeah, they dug the footings, and then we put the sewer service, and then they dug the water line.
that's not a payment or anything, it's just like a contract, I'm not sure exactly what it is. You're just signing,
Well, I'm gonna know what it is for a second.
well, it
I'll
tells
read
you
it.
what it is.
Accessibility fee.
You just give it to me at the end of
I'll
the
read it.
meeting. And that's it.
Let's see. Any other? Did you have something in an email about someone with suspending a sewer service?
Oh, yes, that's right, I'm glad you
North
brought
of-
that up, I forgot
North
about it.
Mast.
Yes,
Where is
One-
that located?
45, 112, 1.
it's one of the houses on North Mast, and what happened is back in February, they had a backup and it had all kinds of damage, so they have not been in their house since February. And I did verify with the water department that they have not had water since February, and it's still not turned on. They're hoping to get it turned on in November. So they're not asking for the whole year, but they would like the first half of the year if we could go ahead and
Abate it.
abate that for them so they don't have to pay it. And they were in there for the month of January, but they haven't been in there, they weren't in there for July, August, September, so it's been well over more than the 6 months.
Do you know about this, Corey?
Yeah, I talked to this lady in the spring,
Did you?
and then I never heard from her again.
Yeah, she had called and sent a letter asking me.
Yeah, in
so.
April, she wasn't living in.
So is there a
in
form we have to
Vermont.
sign, or is it just a verbal?
You know, if you can just make a motion, I'll go ahead and attach that to,
The sewer bill?
I'll attach it to a memo to finance and we'll credit the account, the $200,
21 North
if that's
Mass.
okay with you guys.
So when the next bill goes out, the credit will appear.
What we'll do, she hasn't paid that one yet,
Oh,
so what we'll do is we'll just delete
Generate
that.
a zero invoice
Yeah,
as
we'll-
paid.
We'll delete that invoice that went out, and then she'll get one in November for just the.
Don't delete it as such, make a note on the invoice that the commissioners voted for an abatement for that 6-month
Yeah.
period. And then you can put that in the file as the reason for non-payment.
Yeah.
So we need a motion to abate that property's sewer bill.
Just say Elm Street, North
No.
Mass,
North
and I'll go
Mass.
ahead and get the actual address when I put the motion in.
I'll make a motion to abate the 6-month sewer bill as requested from the resident on North Mass Street and ours. Sewer foreman has verified that the information is correct, as well as Lynn has verified the information from the water department that the water has not been turned on.
I'll second the motion.
Motion's been made and seconded to abate that 6-month bill for those people in North Mass Street. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, motion passes.
Thank you for bringing that up.
All right. Other business as warranted. We have been made aware that our two sewer employees, Corey and Joe, have both, are in need of approval from the sewer commission for their on-call status for when they go in, to be in conjunction with the ongoing agreement at Public Works that they get a 3-hour minimum for an on-call night or day or weekend or evening. And it was never affirmed at the commissioner's level here that we would agree to pay them a 3-hour minimum for on-call status for when they get a call to go out, even if it's shorter than the 3 hours. And I believe this is in alignment with how DPW treats their employees as well. Corey, have I missed anything?
No, nope, not at all. It's always been 3 hours, whether you're Public Works or Sewer Department, for
So,
Walton.
what I'm
Jerko,
looking for,
everybody.
I'm sorry, Corey, what I'm looking for from the commissioners is to concur that we agree or disagree with paying them a 3-hour minimum, and if such, I'll ask for a motion to the effect.
So, okay. I guess I agree, so.
Fine if that's current town policy.
I mean, it's,
It's what the other department does,
Yeah.
so we're just in line with the other department.
So a motion that if our employees respond to a off-duty on-call requirement, that they would be paid a 3-hour minimum for responding.
Okay, so motion to agree to a 3-hour minimum. Any discussion on the
I'll
motion?
second the motion.
Okay, thank you, Daniel. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, abstentions, it passes unanimously.
So, Dave made that motion, right?
David did and
David,
Daniel
David.
seconded
And
it.
seconded.
He just got it in just in time. Trying to get going. Any other business as warranted for this commission? I would like to go into non-public session. It's not under compensation, though.
Okay. What would it?
I guess we could, it doesn't have to be part of our meeting because it's an employee evaluation, and we can do that without it being at a meeting level. It's personnel, and it's not meeting, it's an evaluation, so. I'm gonna rule, unless I get overturned at a later date, that we can conduct our employee evaluation at a private session with our employee, and it's not part of the public record.
I thought if the three of you, if there were 2 or more commissioners, it was a,
Then what I'll do is I'll submit the employee evaluation to each commissioner. They can each fill it out individually and give it back to me, and we can turn it over to DPW at that point.
okay.
Because they need to have this done in a timely fashion, and it's been 2 weeks now since I've had it.
So we're not gonna do an off?
We're not gonna do it on non-public tonight,
Okay.
no.
Okay.
I think it's be inappropriate.
Okay.
As any headway on Albert Street between you two gentlemen?
We've talked about it.
Yeah, we're gonna get together and take a look at that.
I think we have to include
Put something
an
together.
item in the bid without doing test pits.
It's
A full,
sand.
a
Yeah,
full
we
box
know
is
it's
gonna
sand.
be an item that we need as part of a bid this time.
Mhm.
And if it's not needed, great. But if it is needed, it'll be included in the bid.
All right.
You said it's all sand, I believe you, I know.
It's all, because I extended the end of the street.
Okay.
So I know it was all sand because I dug it back.
Okay,
But my question is, Albert Street has 0 drainage. There's no drainage. There's nothing other than sewer and a bunch of private water out there.
okay.
Are we just gonna go forward with a straightforward?
Well, I will
sewer
call Adam and ask him if he wants to be in on this project
Okay.
as part of our,
And
if so, we have to conduct our operations in conjunction with DPW.
yeah, and just maybe get engineering, Adam, and us to sit down and
I'll make
come
that
up
call,
with a good contract.
I'll make that call tomorrow.
Okay.
I'll call DPW tomorrow. And I'll plant the seed in his head and get him thinking about it, because we're pushing September. I'd like to have a bid ready for the end of the year, so maybe we could have a contractor for the spring for that project.
Is that unusual that we have streets
With no
with
drainage.
sewer lines and there's no storm drainage?
That area is flat as a pancake.
They
So-
relied on the porous soil in the neighborhoods to absorb the stormwater for years. They never
Yeah.
had any catch and drain systems. It
It's
just,
very
all sand.
limited, yeah. It's, Louis Street was a prime example. There's never a puddle on that street.
Even if it rains and there's a puddle on the edge of the road, it's gone in 2
gone.
hours.
Yep.
It just goes straight down. So maybe DPW won't want to put drainage in there, but at least we will ask them if they would like to get in on the project with us. Okay?
Yep.
I don't want to delay this meeting. Any other business for this commission from anyone sitting here at the table tonight? Okay, I'll ask for a motion.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Motion's been made to adjourn, seconded. Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, abstentions, motion passes. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, GTV.